it's not my original scholarship. We've done some original scholarship in this, and Peter should talk about it, but definitely it's a story that was new to me. I didn't learn much. I don't know what history classes you went to at that school. I remember the Hitler School, and it was very good for that time, but none of this. I mean, you're focusing on 44, but we had no compression of what we just saw, and neither does my daughter, and neither does my son. It just isn't taught yet. We've got to start somewhere with education to change the thinking.
As to the 44 convention, Oliver and I talked about this the first time we ever had dinner together in 1996 as a pivotal turning point in history. It's astounding to me that the Gallup poll that was released on July 20th, the first night of that convention, 65% of potential voters said they wanted Wallace back as vice president. 2% said they wanted Harry Truman. So, I mean, what does this say about our country and democracy even then? It's been narrowed further in recent years. But that's a pivotal turning point, as is the fact that Claude Pepper was not 5 feet from the microphone. If he'd gotten those 5 more feet, we're suggesting all of history would have been different. We can't tell for sure how it would have been different, but we know certain things. We know he was the leading opponent of the nuclear arms race for the next year and a half, or even longer than that. We know he was the leading opponent of the Cold War. If you see our next episode, we've got very much about Wallace's critique of the Cold War. And what he says between 44 and 48 is spot on. And he understood those issues in a way that almost nobody else, in our opinion, understood them in the United States. And he fought. The thing is, we don't have the time to tell the whole story here, but he battled Truman every step of the way between April 45, when Truman became president, and September 46, when Wallace was ousted. He wasn't passive or quiet about it. He was meeting with Truman repeatedly over that time. And among the things that concerned him, as Jonathan knows, was that Leslie Groves had complete control over the atomic bomb. It was Wallace who forced Truman to take control of the bomb out of Leslie Groves' hands, because Leslie Groves was actually talking about the possibility of a preemptive strike against the Soviet Union in late 1945. So as we say there, that Wallace considered Groves to be a fascist and was very frightened by that. And Wallace managed to control and contain some of the militarism and the most egregious aspects of our Cold War confrontation policy when he was in the cabinet until Truman finally fired him.